As a fan of the NFL, I found this week's performance by my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers to be atrocious. Absolutely, teetotally atrocious. Nevertheless, we will regroup and move forward. Just taking a look at this week's game, week two, at Minnesota and Philly tonight. So, where's the play? What do I think is going to happen there? I think I'm going to go with Philadelphia making a comeback. But Minnesota has a very strong pass attack. They throw it a lot. But Philly may not be a team you want to throw it a lot on. Madison is doing okay. Gainwell with Philly is one thing, but it just comes down to defense. I think that Philly at home, they may be able to hang on, but New England tore that butt up in the pass game. Matt Jones was able to, 300 some yards with Matt Jones with some crew of receivers that he found on the back of a turnip truck. But because they're at home, I still think I'm going with Philly. I should go ahead and fill in my picks here on old Espen while I'm talking about it. But the next game is Packers and the Falcons. Jordan Love. I said it. Just because we think they're not ready. Brett Favre may not have been ready. I know they thought Aaron Rodgers wasn't ready. But look how they turned out. And here's Jordan Love. Hey, pretty good doggone game. He had a pretty good doggone game. If found him a couple receivers and got it all done. His guys wasn't exactly off the back of a turnip truck, but close to it. I don't know who those people are. I don't know where they play ball at. I don't pay attention that close like some of you. But well, I will let you know on the Espen's Eliminator Challenge. Oh, I'm out after the first week because I took Pittsburgh over San Francisco, so I'm out. I'm garbage. I don't do Eliminators well. If it didn't happen now, it was definitely going to happen by week 9. So, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who are those people? I would like to meet the person who wins. Is it like luck? Or is there some way to just kind of figure out what's going on? Okay, I'm not playing the NFL pick'em. I keep forgetting I picked the over and under for all these teams. And after this past week, I'm worried about several of my selections. Again, Pittsburgh foul. In the running game, I think man, you could probably, on your fantasy stuff, you probably play either one of the running backs at Atlanta. They, I think you just, whew. Oh, Aaron Jones at Green Bay does have a slight injury, so be aware of that. Can't play the quarterback at Atlanta, but you can play either one of the running backs because they throw to one and the other one, Bijan, is definitely going to run. Can they run on Green Bay, though? That's going to be the question. Vegas and Buffalo. Can Josh get it together? Is Jacobs ready to play some ball? That remains, that's the question. A lot of these guys that hold out, the thing is, because of how their bodies are built, you risk not preparing that muscle for the season. That hamstring goes, or some other muscle tears, and there goes your fantasy team or your pick for the week, all because Vegas doesn't have a backup running back. Buffalo, surprising game. Allen should bounce back pretty good. Cook as well, but let's just be honest. Uh, wasn't nobody playing with Buffalo last week. Them people was out there trying to kill Buffalo. I couldn't believe that. I was like, oh, my mind is playing with me right now. But that that game last week, the Jets, that was one gutsy performance. Monday Night Football, starting quarterback is done for the year. and I think they knew it. Something wasn't right. It was either broken. I thought it was a broken ankle myself, but it's an Achilles. But I didn't even know Zach Wilson was still on the team. I thought they talked so bad about that boy. I thought they sent him packing, but they kept him, and he steadied the ship. Defense played lights out. I'm just tired. Vegas, Jimmy Garoppolo coming in with that average performance, it just may not be the game because Buffalo is they're ready to go. Get some get back. You know, that was a hard loss. Now, Baltimore and Cincinnati, both of these defenses, I hope they continue to make each other look horrible, but I have to give Lamar Jackson the upper hand from his evasiveness and running ability. I think that the defenses will stop major things from happening, but he does provide that intangible. If the Bengals are not ready to keep him contained, he will run for 100 yards on them, throw for 150, end up being responsible for 3 touchdowns, and they won't know what hit him because last week both quarterbacks played horribly. But we warmed up into this season. When you look at Joe Mixon and Gus Edwards, they wouldn't, they're probably a good B play, but which one do you play? I mean, the defenses they slug it out, I don't talk about the receivers as much. Some of them just stand up by themselves like a Tariq Hill. But, the quarterback, what's the use talking about Chase or anybody else what did my man Joe Beast throw for last week to 75 yards? It was something ridiculous. Yeah. He threw for 82 whole dang yards. So why are you talking about your receivers? If I say Josh Purdy, you like, yeah, Ayuk, Debo, yeah, play them all, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I look at it. You can have a great receiver and a terrible quarterback, as Vegas last year. Anyway, next is Detroit, Seattle. Detroit's gonna try to bite their leg off, forget the kneecaps. If the Seahawks don't get that ball out of Geno hand, they in trouble for the rest of the season. He hadn't warmed up to the fact that you're supposed to do this all the time. So I think they will do that by using Kenneth Walker to give him more touches, and just get the ball out of let Geno make those, be a little bit better than the average performer, but let's not just put it all in his lap. People look at the money. Oh, he got all the money. He should make plays. Yeah, okay. That ain't how it works. Golf, St. Brown, St. James, St. Luke, Matthew. Them boys ready to play. They are ready to play. And let us not forget about Seattle's rush defense is not that great. And between Montgomery and Gibbs, who, if I had them on my fantasy team, I would be starting. One of them, especially Montgomery, because he gets the tougher yards. I don't see it, Seattle. I don't see it for you. The Colts in Houston. I'm not sold on Richardson yet, but he does have the ability to make plays. Houston, you can't play that quarterback. So you're looking at the running back positions. I think the Colts can win this game because I think the defense is better. But I just think, other than, I wouldn't play. Yikes. I wouldn't play either one of these teams with their fantasy players unless they were like the third option or something like that, depending on how deep your team has to be. There's nowhere in the world I would even mess with this. We got KC and the Jags. Play either one of the quarterbacks. Play either one of them. Kansas City and the Jags. Play either quarterback. I think you have a decent production. Without Kelsey, I don't know if Kelsey's playing. I probably would go with Sunshine. Y'all call him Trevor Lawrence. I call him Sunshine. Yeah. Remember the Titans? Sunshine. Yeah. I go with him. I probably would mess with ETN as far as the running back position. The Chiefs just have a cast. Ever since Tyreek, it's just you don't know which one of those people, other than Kelsey, you don't know which one of those receivers are getting the ball. They're going to be probably throwing to the running back just as much as they throw to the receiver this week, because Patrick will get that ball out. That's a good thing about him. Chicago and Tampa Bay, nope. Rashard White is probably the only play I make. I have no faith in Baker Mayfield to do anything worth taking a risk for. Rashard White should be able to bang out some yards. Maybe a second option running back. I do have him on one of my teams as a second back to Najee. We'll get to him later. But I'll get to Najee in a minute. Golly. But yeah, Chicago is just shaky offense, man. I always think like times, if you had a son and he could go pro or if he could stay a year, what would you tell him to do? And I guess it depends on the goal. And this is, of course, before the NIL stuff. In the days of NIL, I would tell my young quarterback to stay in school, get there 4 years, and at least master defenses. College defense. You read a college defense. If you starting for 2 or 3 years, you get it. NIL, you could insure your body. You got some cash coming in if you're at the major programs. So the need to go pro immediately is not there. There's a lot of guys that are out here. Can't even Trey Lance. Just 1 year playing college ball. Now he a backup. Happens to a lot of people, but it's just something about Fields' progressions. It's like it's taking a long time to get somewhere. I don't know. Is it the coaching changes? Was he just used to playing with great talent at Ohio State? Is he studying? Is he getting better? Yes. But is it enough to keep him around for the next 2 or 3 years as a starter? Can he move on to something else? If their record doesn't go over 500, really over 650, you got to kind of start thinking. This thing's going to get a little expensive if they keep him around. San Diego versus Tennessee. You can play Austin Ekeler. You can play Derrick Henry. They should both do well in this game. You may want to go with Justin Herbert if he's on your team. But you can't play Tannehill. You can't play Tannehill unless your first 2 quarterbacks have gone down. There's nobody available, and there's no one answering the phone to give you a bye week. It's just Tannehill. No, you can't play him. But yeah, you definitely want to deal with Derrick Henry or Austin Ekeler. They are ready to go. Then we have New York Giants, boy. I'm not a Giants fan, but that was brutal, man. That was absolutely brutal. I was shocked. And it's a possibility the same thing happens this week to them because the line is down and the quarterback, it's like he regressed from last year. I mean, I never thought a lot of him, but it's like they were ready for him to run because he's not forced to stay in the pocket. Nobody say, hey, you can stay in the pocket. But, yeah. But I think if they can go back to Barkley, give him the ball, and let the quarterback, Jones, whatever name, let him throw only when needed and like sneaker pass. But go with Barkley. I'm talking about just give everybody overdose of Barkley, but see, that's just gonna wear him down over the year. But we in week 2, you got to go with Barkley. San Francisco and the Rams. Purdy, McCaffrey, keep it moving. Learn my lesson. Keep it moving. Even on the road. Pittsburgh was on the road. The Jets and Dallas. I don't think the Dallas will find this. The offense is easy going because the Jets Giants is just night and day when it comes to defense. I mean night and day, and Dallas should be able to pull it out, but it's just going to be a different. I mean, Dalvin Cook and Brees Hall, they ain't playing. I mean, Dallas is not going to be able to throw all over them like they did the Giants. So they're at home. Jets like they're ready to fight somebody. I mean, with that safety studying people like that. They got 3 interceptions off of Allen. I mean, you cannot be choreographed. You cannot go to your old. He studied. He studied. That's dangerous for a quarterback. So that's going to be a heck of a game. Washington versus Denver. You got Washington. You got B. Rob. You definitely want to put him in a flex. P. Ryan is probably the only play at Denver right now. Still ain't sold on Russell Wilson and what they're doing yet. I don't think they are. It could get better, but no. B. Rob and P. Ryan, that's about it. Miami, New England. Tua, Cheetah, whoever else is out there, the wide receiver somewhere, with first, second, third, wherever you need them, just put them in. They fine until the wheel falls off. Tua bumps his head or something. Then but until then, they gonna sling that thing. New Orleans and versus Carolina. Carolina is still incubating. The whole team got like milk around his mouth, wet behind the ears. They, but it's not going to be an easy game for New Orleans because David Carr just makes things hard. I would say, oh yeah, David Carr would be a good player against Carolina. No, David Carr is never a good player against anybody, in real life or in fantasy. New Orleans have him. He should do some things, but I give the running back, since Kamara is still out, and get his running back one more chance to produce something. But until Kamara comes back, I don't know if I'll mess with New Orleans too much either. They won. I don't care. Who cares? I don't even care who they beat. I don't hate New Orleans. Just David Carr thing should be David 8-8 Carr. And it's funny, like 8 games he'll win, 4 games he won't play great, and the other 4 he's banged up. Can't explain it. But no, New Orleans should win, but it's on the road, it's in a division. Bryce is a quick learner. You believe that. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. We better win, but let me tell you something. I couldn't watch the game as it was live. I was out and about. And I was sitting there and it said, going into the second quarter, we already had lost the game pretty much. It said Najee had like 6 carries, I'm sorry. Beginning of the second. He was just getting blown. It was scoring every time they got the ball. We had 0. And I was like, man, Najee hurt for the year. Then I'm like, wait a minute. I said, Najee's hurt for the year. I said, oh my God, this is terrible. What are we going to do? What is we going to do? Najee wasn't hurt. Najee ended up with, what is this, like 6 carries. Huh, so it's 2 Monday night games. Oh, great. No sleep. Well, New Orleans and Carolina, I'm not watching that. I don't, I'll watch it to prove myself correct, I guess. But I thought he was hurt. But then I started to think, like, well, if Najee's hurt, it's cool. Jaylen Warren, McFarland can get us through. They just, I don't know. We did lose Deontay Johnson. Seems like he'll be out for a while. But I'm thinking to myself, like, what offenses are we running? What are we running? You got a young quarterback. 31 yards. Then you look at this. 31 yards is what Najee had on 6 carries. I got 8. Maybe that was total touches was 8. 6 carries, 5.2 yards per carry. But we got blown out. So that means if you give him the ball, not 3 plays in a row, it doesn't work like that. But if you get this man the ball 2 out of 4 plays, he should be able to hold an average. It'll probably drop a little bit. That's 4 yards to carry, but that's 8 yards a series. Giving you third and a lot of shorts. I don't know what happened. His longest run was 24 yards, but I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. They got this man out here throwing the ball 46 times. It's uncalled for. Yeah, we got behind the 8 ball real quick, but that's uncalled for. So anyway, if you're looking for players in that game, you play Watson at your own risk, especially with against Pittsburgh's defense. Plus, which bids in my Steelers' favor, Watson lost a starting tackle with an ACL. Has an ACL, torn ACL, so he's out for the season. And you also got to play there with Nick Chubb. So the Browns should be tough, but DeAndre is gone for this game. Fryersmuth could be out at tight end, but that gives us a chance to see what everybody else can do. But we look forward to week 2. Get it started tonight, and hopefully better results. And I'll do a breakdown of my fantasy team a little later. Keep it tight and right.